Hey, this is Mark Devine. Welcome back with Mark's Daily Brief. Today's theme is Sidestep the Grab. Sidestep the Grab. I've got a good friend named Richard Strozzi Heckler, Dr. Strozzi Heckler, who runs the Strozzi Institute for Embodied Leadership up in Petaluma, California. He's a great guy. He's a 7th degree black belt, author of many books. I first heard of Dr. Strozzi Heckler when I read the book In Search of the Warrior Spirit, which is all about a program that he was involved in where they taught Aikido to Special Forces soldiers and studied how effective Aikido was in developing a more aware warrior and on their leadership style, and they proved to be very effective. This is like back in the 1970s, and it really isn't, the program got shut down, and it hasn't been until recently, in the late 2000s, where anyone even took these principles seriously again to teach to the military and special operations. So Dr. Strozzi Heckler was really at the bleeding edge of warrior development, and I honor him for his work. Well, I worked with him at a training last year, and one of the big takeaways was how the warrior and leader needs to be aware of where they're being grabbed and why, and who's grabbing them. And this is a metaphor, again, you think about Aikido, they use the grab generally to initiate a training technique. And so someone might grab your shoulder, your wrist, or grab you from behind, grab your elbow, and they might do it in various ways with different types of forcefulness. You might be grabbed by a diminutive woman or a big stocky guy. And each one of these types of grabs has a different effect on your psychobiology and your physiology and just your reaction. And so the point is around avoiding the grab or sidestepping the grab is first to pay attention to how you're grabbed. And again, obviously, just like all these daily briefs, I'm using one thing to illustrate another thing. And the one thing I'm trying to illustrate here is that this is a metaphor for your life, in that you can get grabbed by the news, you can get grabbed by your spouse or your kids, you can get grabbed by your boss or your subordinate or your peer, and it's the reactionary behavior that we're want to be cautious of, and that reactionary behavior shows up physically and mentally and emotionally, and also through how it affects the integration of those three into our state or feeling or way of being. So to be aware of how you're grabbed, when you're grabbed, who's grabbing you, and what effect it has on you it's a lot of work, and it takes some practice, and it's really the outcome of a mindfulness practice. And you can start that by just using this metaphor and scanning your typical day and say, what grabbed you, and how did it make you? How did you respond? How did you react? How did you react physically to that grab? Did you pull away from it, or did you lean into it, or did you get totally sucked up into the vortex of someone else's energy? And what did that do to your mind? How did it shift and reframe your thinking process and then your emotional state? And many of you will recognize when you go through this drill that you're kind of grabbed and buffeted all day long by all sorts of other people and other situations, and you feel out of control. So this is a way to get back into control. So the practice is to begin to sidestep the grab. If someone's coming toward you, just step to the side and let them continue to go. Let their energy just go right by you. And if someone's grabbing you from behind, just step to the side and maybe face them and stare them down, confront them, right? Or step forward so their energy dissipates and just walk away. Again, these are metaphorical ways that you can get away from other people's grabs or other situations or circumstances that are grabbing you. Okay, so think about ways that you can sidestep the grab, and preface that with scanning where you get grabbed, why and how and with whom or by whom. All right? So there's your practice. Journal, visualize, and consider how to sidestep the grab. Hoo-yah. Leave a comment, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. Thank you very much. Hoo-yah.